Just born and raised, it's plain to see. This is how we roll UP. I got stories, let me tell it. Bow and arrow and a dope ass mullet. Take one shot, that's all it took, son. When I fish, it takes one hook, son. Hunt big game, just take one look, son. Now I killed it, about to cook, son.
Alright, welcome back to episode 11 of the You Gotta Want It podcast. This will probably be a quicker episode tonight. Not as much stuff to talk about, but it's hard to believe how fast this year is going. It's December 1st, and we're a few days away from the muzzleloading opener here in Michigan. That opens up Friday the 5th, and we got great timing this year with the weather we just got. And it looks like for us this weekend as well, it's going to be cold and chance of snow again this weekend. But looking like single digits lows, and highs only going to be in the mid-20s. So setting up for a really good weekend, and going to be a cold sit, but that means a good deer movement. The first storm of the year came through Saturday night into Sunday morning, and we got about 6 inches at the hunting grounds, and now it's just going to be flat out cold. So that's what we need this time of the year. We've had years past where we've had warmer temps and no snow, and the deer stay pretty nocturnal, and don't have to put on the feed bags as much. But this past storm has put them out searching for food and feeding the majority of the day, is what the camera's been seeing. It's what the camera's been showing. Seems like there's deer on multiple cameras all day long, and pretty good to see right now. One thing's for certain, these deer have sure been pressured for about 2 months now up here in the UP, but there's one thing that will trump pressure and the December little low that we usually are in after the rut, and that's the snowy cold weather that we're having right now. So like I said, the camera's been crazy, and they're showing that deer are definitely moving because of this weather we got. So this past week I went up Friday and Saturday to get the cameras moved and spots prepped and ready to go for this coming weekend, and that went pretty well. Got a pop-up line set up in a spot for myself, and things are ready to roll at the other 2 spots for the other guys. But before the storm that rolled in, I got the muzzleloader sighted back in, and making sure that's still good to go, and that's ready to go now. So once I got that muzzleloader sighted, I headed home and just beat the storm. It started to come down pretty good, so made her home safe. Even during that storm though, the deer were moving and feeding all night. Sometimes they say the deer will hunker down and wait out a storm, or feed right before and feed after, but the cameras didn't show that. I mean, they were up all night feeding, which was pretty interesting to see. And I was texting Eric off and on last week, and texted me Thursday and asked me if I thought something nice would show up for muzzleloader, and I said I'd figured one of the regulars and maybe one new one, but surprisingly there's a bunch of 1 to 2 year olds running around, and 2 familiar shooters that showed back up already. One is the short tine 10 that I thought would not make it past rifle based on how much daylight he was on the cameras this year, and he really liked to bounce around the property, so I figured if no one got him on the property we're hunting, I figured neighbors would have got a poke at him. But pretty solid buck, I'd say close to the 110s area, low 110s at the biggest. It's not the big 10 that we were looking to get back on camera, but pretty cool to see how he made it, and he's back on the property. The second buck that's back is called Double Fun Point Buck. He was very, I'd say, sporadic this fall. I think I talked about him earlier in some podcasts. He only stayed on one side of the property since we saw him first in August in the cameras, and nothing's really changed. He's showing up pretty much in the same corner, and he's still nocturnal. So he must be traveling pretty far to get to where the cameras are, and that's one buck that's probably going to be hard to kill if he stays on this kind of pattern. But I'd like to think if we don't get a shot at him this weekend, he should make it into next year based on if he's coming from a different property, no one's shot him yet. So I think it's a win-win for us if we can get a crack at him, or he makes it into the next year, because he's going to be a pretty good buck, bigger than this year. And I would say I still think there's a chance we can get another known buck to show back up in the next couple days after I've recorded this. It wouldn't surprise me, but we'll see. So the 2 bucks I just talked about are the current bucks that I would shoot. The rest are getting a pass from me, and probably Eric as well. But should be some of those bucks will likely be on the 2026 hit list. I mean, they're bucks I would shoot probably years ago, but looking for that little bit better caliber buck now in the last couple of years. So just good to see some bone and muzzle. And usually it's tough to get bucks on camera this time of year. It seems like a ghost town for bucks usually. But the past 2 years we've really been passing a lot more, and bucks are sneaking through. And I think it's helping a little bit. So it's good to see how we're getting some bone on camera and on the property after rifle season. It really just goes to show that you got to count on these deer up here. If you're not seeing them for a bit, you always think the worst case, that they got shot or they just left the area, or predators that got them or something. But the last couple of years, like I said, they've shown back up for us, and as well as the ones that we decide to pass, you want to give them another year. And you can't just say if you don't shoot them, the neighbors will. But that's not always the case with these bucks. Somehow they always find a way to dodge the Orange Army and make it into December. But by us, I would guess there's probably 20-some gun hunters during rifle season that are surrounding the property, and somehow these bucks survive. And just a testament how tough and sneaky these bucks can get up here in the UP. Like I said, you just can't always assume your neighbors are shooting every basket buck. Maybe they're doing the same thing as you and passing, waiting on Mr. Big. Just takes a couple of people to do that, and the bucks are in the clear. But with that said, it's tough to do in Michigan, especially here in the UP. People love to fill their buck tags no matter the size. I would say the majority of hunters look for decent bucks, but that seems not to be enough, as I've seen lately. It's tough to say if it's getting better. There are some big dandies getting shot each year, but it's few and far between. I mean, you always have pockets of good hunting, and the pockets are going to be there, but I just don't see this pockets expanding across more of the UP to be realistic for us hunters up here. I really don't. If you're hunting the UP and you're looking to kill 150 every year, you're really in the wrong place. It's not likely. I mean, 150 up here is a once in a lifetime buck if you're lucky. But like I said, all you can do is keep at it, and if you hunt private, trust your neighbors are counting on the deer just like you, and just maybe that 115-inch UP booners will present a shot for you at some point in the season. That's my little rant / pep talk, I'd say, for the week. So like I said, a big week coming up. Opener muzzle for us. We got great weather compared to years past. It looks like with some luck, we'll knock down some deer, knock them down with the smoke poles, and have a great weekend at camp to end the year. But big fish fry Friday night. My dad's cooking that, and then I'm in charge of turkey nuggets Saturday, so we're going to eat good, if anything. If the hunting's bad, you always got to have good food, they say, so we're going to hopefully have both. The way I'm going to hunt these deer this weekend, it's going to be all afternoon sits. Just not going to take a chance and spook them in the morning. They're there in the mornings, but they're there in the dark, and then they're there still when it gets light. So there's a good chance of bumping the buck that we're after, or the does, and that could wreck the rest of the weekend if you head in there Friday morning. So gonna hunt the afternoons. Gonna get in extra early though, probably by 12:30. There's definitely been all day movement, like I said, so be good to get in early and maybe get a chance at a doe early, or catch a buck coming out early. But I think that's gonna be the key this weekend, is not bumping these deer off the feed spots, and I think we're gonna have a good chance of getting some deer down if we don't do that. So afternoon sits for me, and hopefully everyone else follows suit. So excited to be back in the woods this weekend. It's been about a week and a half for me, so excited. One more thing, also shout out to the hometown Menominee Maroons on winning the football state finals this past weekend. Total domination against Schoolcraft in the D7 finals, 34-6. That was the first team in the UP to win the state finals in 10 years, and the first Maroon title in 18, so shout out to those Maroon dogs. So that's all I got for this week. Hopefully come back next week with a great report, and hopefully get a buck down, or at least knock a doe down this weekend. But we're going to be looking for does, looking for a couple of the shooters that we got showing back up on camera. But thanks for listening, guys. Good luck if you're still hitting the woods, and stay warm. We will catch you on the next episode of the You Gotta Want It podcast. Peace.